am sitting in a room different from the one you are in now.
I'm not sitting in a room. I'm out taking a walk through the forest near my house. While walking, I often have the same reoccurring daydream. There's a room with nothing in it but a piece of paper littering the floor. I pick it up and read about an almost forgotten historic event. In 1938, record producer John Hammond was putting on a concert at Carnegie Hall. It was called From Spirituals to Swing, and lots of musicians were invited to play. Blues legend Robert Johnson was to appear as a special guest. But 3 days before the Carnegie Hall concert, a jealous fan handed Johnson a glass of whiskey laced with rat poison. When John Hammond heard the news of Robert Johnson's death,
And now, ladies and gentlemen, letter number 9. Okay. But perhaps there is a vicious circle in our previous reasoning. Theoretical culture must, it seems, bring along with it practical culture. And yet the latter must be the condition of the former. All improvement in the political sphere must proceed from the ennobling of the character, but subject to the influence of a social constitution still barbarous. How can character become ennobled if we are surrounded by barbarians and barbarous politics? How could we ennoble? It would then be necessary to seek for this end an instrument that the state does not furnish, and to open sources that would have preserved themselves pure in the midst of political corruption. I have now, and I'm very happy to say so, I have now reached the point of which all the considerations tended that have engaged me up to the present time. This instrument is the art of the beautiful. Only with the art of the beautiful, our characters can be ennobled. These sources are open to us in its immortal models. Art, like science, is emancipated from all that is positive and all that is humanly conventional. Both are completely independent of the arbitrary will of man. The political legislator may place their empire under an interdict, but he cannot reign there. He can prescribe the friend of truth, but truth subsists. He can degrade the artist, but he cannot change art.
Blues legend Robert Johnson was to appear as a special guest. But 3 days before the Carnegie Hall concert, a jealous fan handed Johnson a glass of whiskey laced with rat poison. When John Hammond heard the news of Robert Johnson's death, he substituted the blues legend's absence by putting a record player on stage, on center stage, and played 2 of his songs. At the end of my daydream, I wonder, this must have been the first time a record player was used as a solo performance piece. I promised myself that when I get home, I'll look it up, but I always forget. I think I have this daydream because one of the songs played was Walking Blues.
I'm crazy. And I want to say some words about Schiller. Hey, Schiller, it is. Hey, everybody out there. Today, it is about Schiller. Yes, Schiller, it is. It's not easy. Schiller, he was German. Difficult. German's always difficult. German, difficult. Even for Germans, difficult. Schiller is difficult. And today, even Schiller in English, difficult. For Germans and for English-speaking people, Schiller, difficult. And Schiller even worse. He talks about aesthetics. Schiller, difficult. Aesthetics, also difficult.
Read about an almost forgotten historic event.
Schiller,
1938.
aesthetics, difficult. For Schiller, for Germans, and for everybody else. So difficult. Schiller it is. Schiller it is. Not easy, but heavy. Schiller. No chiller. Heavy shit. Sorry. Deal with it.
Hallo?
Jailhouse geometry. Walking the perimeter of the prison yard, I think about just how nice it would be to walk a mile in a straight line. For comrades who ask, what is to be done during this particular historical conjuncture? A partial list of practical things to do. Throw a stone. Throw another. Fire a poem. Slash a tire. Raise a fist. Raise your voice. Raise a child. Wear a mask. Paint a slogan. Paint a dream. Honor the martyrs. Build a barricade, build a network, claim your history, claim the streets, sing a message, set a fire, break a window, break a sweat, rent a safe house, print a leaflet, forge a document, shelter a fugitive, bind a wound, love a friend, hold a lantern, hold your ground, clean your weapon, practice your aim, disable a missile, create a diversion, tell a joke, secure a march, walk the picket, pick a lock, bait a trap, spring an ambush, blow a horn, make a plan a backup, wreck the tracks, lose a tail, find your hope. Raise the stakes, change your name, wipe for prints, test a theory, challenge a dogma, cut the wires, strike a chord, strike a blow, tell the truth, trick the man, hold a meeting, take a beating, hold your tongue, watch your back, watch the sky, cut a trail, leave no traces. Pick a target, learn from workers, teach a comrade, mark the time. Free a POW, steal the files, steal your heart, hound a landlord, feed the homeless. Squat a building, join a cell, learn a kata, memorize the code, cut the bars, vault the fence, clear the perimeter, swim the river, disarm a cop, slip the noose, slip the checkpoint, use your fear, tighten the drum, plant a thought, tend the orchard, cherish a tear, commit it to memory, check your ego, study the map, deal with the traitors, silence the snitch, start from scratch, carry your weight, Take on some more. Fight to love. Say it again. Fight to love. Cross the line. Take us with you. Don't look back.
Fire. A poem. Fire. A fire poem. Poems. Fire. A thousand poems. A poem. Fire. A thousand fires. A poem. Fires. A thousand fires. A thousand poems. Fire. Fires.
Actually, something that see, I don't do this. I don't talk about this publicly. I've been asked many times. I have co-defendants and comrades who have talked about their experiences in prison and isolation, and I've been pretty adamant about not taking this on. It's difficult for me to get through it. It's also well, it's just painful to go back and revisit that period of time when you leave those iron doors, and when they finally slam behind you, you leave that person behind. I was thinking of maybe setting up sort of a recreated cell, but with me sitting in it on the floor, like I'd be sitting at my on the concrete slab where I did all my writing. And as people come by, I could write them a short letter. It's like I was in solitary in Marion, and it was when Mumia Abu Jamal was scheduled to be executed in the state of Pennsylvania. And I started asking all of the political prisoners that I knew, which at that point, I think I was writing to people in like 17 different countries. It was ridiculous. I was writing, do an art show, like put together a book, actually 100 pages worth of letters on tiny little crib scrawl to save money on stamps, and sending to, I was in touch with people in Turkey and Ireland and Germany and South Africa, and sort of relive that mindset, and relive the experience. But there was something just unbelievably powerful for me to hold her letters in my hand again, and to see, oh my God, the love and just, the connectedness and the sharing that was there was so profound, and it maybe even re-experiencing it as 20 years later, I was reading things and seeing things that I hadn't seen at the time. But it was just so sustaining. But there's something real about holding the physical letter that is so different than the scanned digital version that Michael has in Germany. I was thinking of maybe setting up sort of a recreated cell, but with me sitting in it on the floor, like I'd be sitting at on the concrete slab where I did all my writing. And as people come by, I could write them a short letter.
Hello! Hello everybody! Welcome to the letters on the aesthetical education of man, written and performed by me, Frederick Schuyler. And of course, we are talking about 27 letters. That's a lot. But I had to write so many letters because I was given money by a friendly guy from Denmark. Back in those days, because I was always poor, and so I needed money, and I had a very, very bad health.
combatant. That was
Walking
my
the perimeter of the
framework,
prison
and
yard.
my
I think
artwork
about
was
just how
actually
nice
more
it would be
instrumental
to
in
walk a
capture
mile
combatant.
in a
That was
straight
my
line.
framework.
Ich folge dir gleichfalls mit freudigen Schritten und Mein Herr Marquis, ein Mann wie Sie, der sollte das verstehen. Marquis, Matteo, Palmasetto, Made my rose create, no trouble, no trouble, my breast, forget my fate,
Schuyler wasn't able to write so many things because he died early, because he was so sick. And maybe before I start referring to being sick, or I will tell you about the apple. It's very important to talk about the apple concerning Schuyler. Maybe I put the head away. Frederick Schuyler always had apples in the drawer of his desk where he was writing, in his writing room. Why? Well, it wasn't just apples, but it were rotten apples. And there was this intense smell of these rotting apples going into my nose, and that was so inspiring for me to write. For example, to write also the letters on the aesthetical education of man.
This is a blues for the weak and preyed upon, and for the predators whose own hearts were the first victims. This is a blues for every prisoner who'd be on the street for want of a competent lawyer, for every prisoner on death row, for every prisoner officially murdered by the state, for every prisoner murdered off the record, for every prisoner with life, no parole, no hope, for every woman prisoner demeaned, insulted, molested, or raped by male guards, for every prisoner ever force-fed while on hunger strike, for every prisoner made to chop cotton, hoe cabbage, make license plates, sew blankets, dig ditches, pick garbage. For every prisoner ever beaten, for every prisoner bussed or airlifted while shackled like a slave, for every prisoner who cannot read or write, for every prison prayer unanswered, for every prison dream deferred. This is a blues for the rebels, the thoroughbreds, the stand-up convicts, for every convict who carried his own weight, for every convict who took the weight for someone else and never said a mumbling word. This is a blues for every mother who cried for her son or daughter in prison, for every prison mother that cried for her children on the street, for the children in prison with babies on the street, for every child who's already on the track to the penitentiary. This is a blues for the prison snitch whose punishment is having to live with himself. This is a blues for every prisoner who couldn't get to his loved one's funeral, for every prisoner who died alone and had no one to claim the body. This is an international, multiracial, equal opportunity affirmative action blues. A blues especially for everyone else who doesn't give a fuck about prisoners, because they're worse off than us. It's a blues that shouldn't have to be. A lost blues. The bluest blues. This is a blues just looking for freedom.
I've nothing much to offer. There's nothing much to take. I'm an absolute beginner. But I'm absolutely sane. As long as we're together, the rest can go to hell. I absolutely love you. But we're absolute beginners. With eyes completely open. But nervous all the same. If our love song could fly over mountains, could laugh at the ocean, just like the films, there's no reason to feel all the hard times, to lay down the hard lines. It's absolutely true.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
So that there you, Michael. You can also make you can also make a cut there then, and then I go on later. I never know where to look. I have to look there. Where? There's the camera. Hello, Michael. Ja.